morning, gentlemen. This message is for you men out there, teens, boys, and women as well if you want to watch, but I want to specifically focus upon you guys. And it's all about male consciousness. And what does that really mean, to be aware of your life, to really take full ownership of your life? Because there's a lot of men, obviously, that are still really angry, expressing their feelings and emotions and thoughts and have no idea where they're coming from. And they're unconscious. They're just living an unconscious male life. And I so get that because, I come from a lineage of a certain ethnic group, in my family anyways, that were just deeply unconscious and just being males, that programmed, old school male way of thinking. Actually, it's not only old school, it's current as well. There's a lot of unconsciousness with males that have kind of shifted from that old school, hardened way to equally as unconscious in another way. But anyways, to break this down into some basic principles, you create your life, and that's really important to realize. Obviously, you've heard that many times before in lots of different books and people and so forth. But we create our lives, and how do we create our lives? It's through our thoughts, feelings, and emotional body. So, if our life is just going along willy-nilly, and we're living it without the consciousness of how we're creating our relationships, we're creating our environment. When we're angry, we have stuff going on inside that is not yet processed. So, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, very, very important. And I know for me, I started my journey of consciousness when I was 15 years of age. And it's been a long time now, but there's been so many ups and downs along the way because, unconsciousness is so deep within us. It's so conditioned, not only from past lives, if you believe that kind of thing, but the current life, from when we are in the womb to when we're infants and children and so on and so forth. It just continues, and we're not thinking about how we're creating our life. It's a subject that I'm really passionate about, and I find sometimes I get frustrated, and that's just part of my own conditioning where I want men to so get it, like in reference to my family, I spent a lot of time listening to men just bellyache about stuff, spewing their, I like to say, vomiting all over me, just spewing their opinions about unconsciousness onto me, and me being afraid to talk back. I was afraid to do that when I had the intuition and feelings of what was going on, the proverbial elephants in the room that no one wanted to talk about, but I wanted to talk about. So I'll go into this further in other videos, but just this message here is to talk briefly about how we create our lives, and it's about thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And if you are feeling off in any way, off meaning, angry, depressed, frustrated, any feeling relating to that, conversely, if you're feeling good and joyous and happy and elated and just loving and warm, etc., 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 you're in alignment. You're in alignment with who you really are. And if you're feeling on the other side, the anger, as I said, I talked about, you are off base. That's not your natural state. It's a conditioned, false state. To be feeling good and aligned is a natural state. It's an alignment with the essence of who you really are. So if you're not that, something's off. Something's off. And instead of blaming another person, whether it's your partner or your father or mother or sister or brother or friends or society, it's you. It's you. The feelings, your thoughts and feelings are coming through you. And that's about taking ownership, to understand that that's going on. It's coming through you. So if we can be in a certain feeling body and then think about the mirror in our mind's eye, just hold up that mirror, you realize that it's you that's talking, that's you that's feeling or emoting. It's you that's complaining, it's you that's angry, and so on and so forth. So these are times where more men are becoming conscious, more conscious than ever before. It's really, really exciting to me. And of course, the journey of consciousness often is not an easy one, because when you start to become conscious, you become aware of all the ways that you are thinking and feeling, and it can be really frustrating because you start to think, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm reading the spiritual books. I wish it was different. Something's wrong with me. I'm stupid. I'm not getting this. But just the fact that you're aware of it, that's it. Just the fact that you're aware of it is a huge step, because now you're becoming the observer of your feelings and your thought systems. That's huge. I mean, without the awareness, you can't go anywhere. Awareness is the start. And from the awareness, you start to learn what to do. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but just to throw some thoughts and ideas out at you in terms of taking ownership, that how you realize that you're being unconscious, and that awareness in and of itself is massively important. Massively important. So if you're in the place where you are developing consciousness in any way, shape, or form, hats off to you, man. Hats off to you, because you're on the path. And once you keep this up, there's no turning back. I like to say this is the only game in town. Consciousness is the only game in town. To connect with that loving essence of who and what we are is the only game in town. Anyways, thanks for the time. I wish you well. Have a good day. Bye-bye.